The more you let go of what you cannot control, the easier it is to free yourself. Today, we are discussing Ishvara, Pranidhana. You free yourself by letting things flow the way it is. There are circumstantial influences that can be accepted versus what would be extreme, something like oppression, an oppression to you, an oppression to a certain group or class of people. There are different influences that can impact us on our day-to-day lives. But in the essence of what's currently happening in your present life, accepting things and letting the flow state of what it is, you allow other influences to help you to better control what is. The flow state of letting things go the way they are, you surrender that negative mindset, those negative influences that impacts you to something else, a higher state of being. If you're a person of faith and identify with many names, God, the universe, spirit, whatever term you use to allow that influence that negatively impacts you, something that keeps you uncomfortable, something that makes you resistive to the idea, but letting something that you cannot control be taken upon something else, you free yourself internally. You free yourself spiritually. And this is what I love about yoga, because it influences mind, body, and spirit, and it has the tools to allow you to be able to cope with certain things that are out of your control. There are many examples that we have stories that we can include in just accepting the flow of what is, right? From my personal perspective, I used to struggle a lot with protecting my name and who I am. I used to struggle with the way people would identify me when they talk about others. But you know what I cannot control? What that individual says about me when I know that I am a person that operates in a space that does not intend to harm an individual. When I know that I'm a kind individual, when I know that I'm not a mischievous and opportunist, somebody that chooses to take from people with no means to give back, right? But you know you cannot control what others perceive of you based off of other people's stories, as well as the influences of what people say about you, defamation of character. I used to be so passionate about protecting my name, but I would always be at a losing battle. You want to know why? Because the energy I was putting in myself to protect my name and what people say about me, I don't have that control over the individual who received those words versus the individual who says things about me that may or may not be true. I have the capacity to have faith within myself, have faith in the words of the higher being, the universe, God, spirit, and saying, I know who I am, and I'll allow my character to continue to project the individual that I know that I am to be, and as well as projecting that better version of who I am to be. Let's be realistic with ourselves. We have to hold ourselves accountable in the places where we know we've fallen short, we know we've disappointed, or we know that we can work on. So essentially, the more we choose to let things be, the easier it is to free ourselves. How do you free yourself? Choosing to uplift our mindset, choosing to let go of what no longer serves us, choosing to let go of what we can no longer or what we cannot control. You free yourself by giving grace, having patience, having discernment, being a person of good character and good morals, being an individual who gives back, being an individual who happens to be of faith, choose to also tap into those spiritual influences that makes you become a wholesome individual at an even higher or enlightened state of mindset. That's where spirituality taps in. If you've noticed in the series that we've talked about and how we can allow the yamas and niyamas, the moral restraints, the observances within that impact us and how we project and perceive to others. We then have these influences and these insights to continue being a wholesome and well-rounded individual. And our personal growth continues to rise and be uplifted and a positive influence on others as we know how to navigate life. So how can this help you on your yoga journey? How do you define your yoga journey and your personal growth through your overall practice of incorporating the yamas and niyamas in your continuous asana practice through the pranayama, as well as of the other limbs within Patanjali's 8-limbed system? You have grace for yourself. You work on mindfulness practices. You give back to the community. You participate in things that make you feel whole. You do things that align with your authentic self. You do things that go against the grain of what you're used to doing to help you develop an even higher, better version of yourself that you're working towards. So you do things that are not normally something that you would do, but you know would help you along your journey. You do things that are uncomfortable that will help develop you in a way that you never saw of yourself previously. That's how you allow the flow state, the space or the mindset to just let things be, and your answer will come, is by taking action. That's how you free yourself, as well as that's how you work toward being a better version of yourself. You do your mindfulness practice of journaling, meditative walks, community events, and conversations with individuals that are where you desire to be. You let those insights help you to be and grow into the individual that you desire or are working toward becoming. Ishvara Pranidhana, surrender of the mind. If this resonates with you and you want to work deeper in your personal growth journey and defining your yoga journey, you can check out this description box here where it has a clarity quiz in where you currently are in the current state of being in your personal growth through yoga. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment box below. I'll be more than happy to answer these questions for you. And in the meantime, be well, and I will see you on the other side. Let's flow together.